It's Monday, October 6, 2014. This is PSN News. Tonight we'll have the latest on the Ebola outbreak.
We'll also talk to members from the UPUA on last week's closed-door meeting, coming up on PSN News.
Joining us tonight, I'm Mike Gilbert.
And I'm Alexandria Brown. Columbia University student Emma Salkowitz has made waves in the world of higher education for her senior thesis. Her performance art protest titled "Carry That Weight" obligates her to carry a mattress around campus until her alleged rapist leaves the university. On Friday, a group of Penn State students created their own campaign carrying around 3 mattresses, both to support Salkowitz and to raise awareness of sexual assault on campus. Over 100 students participated in one of the 2 walks that were held throughout the day. The walks led the participants throughout campus and downtown State College and ended with students sharing their own experiences with sexual assault as well as messages of support.
Former FBI Director Louis Freeh is no longer the head of his law firm, Pepper Hamilton, LLP. Freeh is the author of the 2012 report commissioned by Penn State in relation to the Jerry Sandusky child abuse scandal. In a press release Thursday, the firm announced Freeh is being succeeded as chairman of the executive committee by Thomas Gallagher. Freeh remains a partner and member of the executive committee and is still the chairman of Freeh Group International Solutions. Freeh is currently being sued for defamation by former Penn State President Graham Spanier. His work is also being questioned by Lionel Sutton and Nicole Reitano, who are appealing a report Freeh prepared in 2013 that recommended a criminal investigation of the 2 attorneys for fraud, money laundering, conspiracy, and perjury.
The saga of the NCAA lawsuit continues after a judge dismissed State Senator Jake Corman's portion of the case on Friday. Corman filed a lawsuit against both the NCAA and Penn State regarding the $60 million fine in connection to the Sandusky child abuse case. The fine is meant to benefit child abuse survivors and raise awareness to the cause. However, Corman and State Treasurer Rob McCord filed a suit in 2013 to keep the fines within Pennsylvania, instead being nationally distributed. Sandusky is currently facing 30 to 60 years in prison on 45 counts of child sex abuse.
Penn State President Eric Barron was interviewed on C-SPAN last Friday as part of C-SPAN's Big Ten tour to find out more about each university. President Barron talked about public policy issues impacting higher education institutions, the Big Ten Conference, student debt, and tuition. He also took questions from parents, educators, students, and Pennsylvania residents. The program looks to find out more information regarding relevant topics about colleges today, such as tuition costs, academic standards, and campus safety.
Penn State has committed to a monumentally historic 20% energy reduction. On Friday, the university officially joined the United States Department of Energy's Better Buildings Challenge. It has pledged to reduce the university's building portfolio energy by 20% over the next 10 years. Penn State is now the largest university in the Better Buildings Challenge with a commitment of 28 million square feet, topping Michigan State and the University of Virginia.
Penn State University's Park campus has been named the 7th best school nationally in graduating college seniors to the 2014 Teaching Corps. This year, 55 students became part of Teach for America's Corps. University Park tied with the University of Georgia and the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Founded in 1990, Teach for America recruits and develops highly qualified college graduates and professionals to teach for 2-year time periods in urban and rural public schools. So far, Teach for America has more than 37,000 alumni.
The University Park Undergraduate Association has launched a new initiative to help serve the needs of graduating students. Reporter Youssef Saba has more.
The University Park Undergraduate Association will begin handing out free graduate school test preparation books this week. This initiative is a result of a partnership between the organization and the Princeton Review. Along with the free books, free graded practice exams were also offered last week. President Anand Ganjam tells us how he feels this initiative benefits students.
We decided to host test preparation weeks where we would hand out free books and materials materials, just to promote the partnership, promote free tests, and also give a free resource to students. Those books, cracking the GRE, cracking the MCAT, those are pretty expensive books, and we were able to get them at a discount through Princeton Review and hand them out. So it was a great way for people to get to know their student government and get a great resource as well.
UPUA's funding comes from the student activity fee. An undergraduate student shared her thoughts on the initiative.
I think it's good. I think that if we're going to spend so much tuition at this school, then it should go towards something that's going to benefit us directly. I don't personally plan on going to grad school, but I know a majority of my friends here are, and so having those LSAT prep books and the GRE prep books and the practice tests available for their use is going to be really helpful to them. And if we do have to pay a student activities fee with our tuition every year, then it should go to something as beneficial as this.
This graduate school preparation program has been a 3-year-long effort from all parts of the organization. The Director of Communications, Taylor Olson, told us more about this initiative and her role in this effort.
My job is mostly to communicate our programs to the students, so the ones that it pertains to, they can get the most out of them. Sure, granted, not everybody will be taking the LSAT, but for those students that are, our priority here is to be students, and UPUA's priority is to make that life better for them. And for that person, being able to receive the preparation they need to further their education for free, I think it's extremely beneficial.
UPUA is also offering free discounted preparation courses throughout the year. For PSN News, this is Yusuf Saba.
Hundreds of Hong Kong students continue to protest their central government building. We'll have more coming up.
Some is chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's
Wow.
right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Another triumph for the LGBT community today after the Supreme Court refused to hear cases from 5 states on the legality of their same-sex marriage bans. Oklahoma, Utah, Wisconsin, Virginia, and Indiana all filed cases with the Supreme Court, but the court turned down the hearing any of them. The effort to do nothing created a rush to courthouses in the 5 states as same-sex couples reportedly applied for marriage license this afternoon. Experts say the court's denial can lead to other states within the affected circuits having to address their bans as well, potentially bringing the number of states with legalized gay marriage from 19 to 30.
The United States unemployment rate is under 6% for the first time since July 2008. The American job market created 248,000 jobs in September, which marks the 48th straight month of job growth. Reports show that employers have added 226 jobs per month on average this year. However, the drop in unemployment is also partly due to people dropping out of the labor force altogether. This drop in unemployment is still a steady recovery from the financial recession of 2009.
California Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill last Tuesday making the state the first to allow family members to request the removal of firearms from their relatives. According to the bill, if a relative is thought to pose a threat, family members can now legally have the guns removed from their possession. The bill is in response to the deadly shooting near the University of California, Santa Barbara in May. Supporters say that this measure could have prevented the attacks, which left 6 students dead.
It was announced today that a nurse's assistant in Spain has contracted Ebola, making her the first to do so outside of Africa in the current outbreak. Meanwhile, the sole Ebola patient in the United States is currently in critical condition. Thomas Duncan, a Liberian national, has been in isolation at a Dallas area hospital since Tuesday. 50 people who were in close contact with him are now being monitored daily. Federal officials are now discussing increasing airport security in order to better monitor travelers coming from Ebola-affected countries. Here at Penn State, 80 students were being monitored up until yesterday. While the students have been cleared, Penn State spokeswoman Lisa Powers said the university will remain vigilant in identifying potential new threats based on recommendations from the CDC.
Pro-democracy activists are continuing to block off major highways in Hong Kong, ignoring the deadline given to them by the government to disperse. However, the amount of protesters has dwindled and those left remaining are peaceful. This morning, a key road adjacent to Chief Executive C.Y. Leung reopened, although some 100 students remained out front. Protesters did not block the paths of government workers, allowing them to return to work this evening. Student leaders began meeting with government officials to discuss political reform yesterday and will continue to do so tonight.
Alan Henning's family said they are numb with grief after hearing the news that he was beheaded by the Islamic State terror group. ISIS released a video on Friday of Henning, a British aid worker, being beheaded. The killing was blamed on the UK for joining the US-led bombing campaign against ISIS in Iraq and Syria. In the same video, the group threatened the life of American aid worker Peter Kassig, who has been held captive since October 2013.
During his inaugural address, the Parliament on Friday, the new Prime Minister of Sweden, Stefan Löfven, said he has decided to recognize Palestine as a state. Sweden will be the first major state of the European Union to recognize Palestine. The Swedish announcement comes at a time of new tension between Israel and many European nations over recent fighting in Gaza. Löfven told Parliament on Friday that the conflict in Israel and Palestine can only be solved with the creation of 2 separate states. Negotiated in accordance with international law, it has not yet been mentioned when this will go into effect.
Brandon Stanton, the creator of Humans of New York, spoke to Penn State students Thursday night. Reporter Shannon Ryan has more.
Humans of New York spoke to Penn State students at Eisenhower Auditorium Thursday night. The event, hosted by the Student Programming Association, was warmly received by members of the Penn State community, who packed the auditorium to its full capacity. 30-year-old Stanton sat down with us before the event and walked us through his journey. After losing his job, he moved to New York and started photographing strangers. The event focused on the evolution of his project.
You know, for me to be fired from my job just 3 years ago, 4 years ago now, I'm losing the track of the time, and be right here today, you know, I think that in itself is kind of a testament to what's possible if you have a good idea and you're willing to work at it. You know?
The project evolved into a media phenomenon. Stan's account has almost 2 million followers on Instagram, 10 million on Facebook, and 400,000 on Tumblr. His first book became a New York Times bestseller. Stanton talked to us about the objective behind his famed work.
I don't try to show a hopeful or an optimistic side to the countries that I go to. I just want to show normality, not the extremes.
Honing gives an opportunity for people to tell a story that they will never have the opportunity to do before. And I believe that's what makes him very special and very unique.
But despite the fame, Stanton tells us,
I'm just a guy walking up and talking to people on the street. Can you call that journalism? I'm just a dude, you know what I mean? I'm just a guy talking to people, taking their photos, putting them on my website.
And for PSN News, I'm Shannon Ryan.
And we'll be right back with an interview with members of UPUA after the break.
because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer, 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's
Wow.
right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. I'm Shannon Ryan, and joining me today is the Speaker of the Assembly of the University Park Undergraduate Association, John Wortman, and the Chair of Internal Development, Ryan Belts, to discuss the UPUA's recent closed-door meeting. The meeting was held to discuss the UPUA's stance on Al Lord's proposed resolution to the free report. Hello. Hi there.
Well, thank you for having me. It's good to be back. I always enjoy coming out
We're
here.
happy to have you. Could the two of you talk to us a little bit about the UPUA's stance on the proposed resolution and on your justification behind closing the doors to your meeting?
Yeah, so the first part of that is we will be introducing a resolution passed through our Governmental Affairs Committee last night, which doesn't necessarily address the Lord resolution specifically, because that current resolution might not actually be voted on by the board in its current form at the special meeting in October. But what it does do is if it passes on Wednesday, it will oppose doing another investigation similar to the free report, based off of the cost, based off the fact that we have a lack of access to documentation. And it would also address that while there are possible issues with the free report, that the student body at this point thinks the university needs to move forward and continue to focus on research, on academics, on the things that make Penn State great.
Okay, thank you. And could you talk to us about your justification behind closing the doors?
I mean, the steering committee, we released a statement before last week's closed-door meeting stating our fact behind it. We had a 30-8 vote at the previous week's meeting to close the last part of last Wednesday night's meeting to the public. The reason behind it, most all of the UPUA's initiatives start in committee, and this was the only way to get the entire assembly in one place, and without the media being there, without the public being there, so that they could easily voice their thoughts to the executive board of the UPUA, so that we could further develop a resolution that we wanted to pass through committee.
Right, and you said without the media and without the public being there, but weren't you elected into office to represent the student body, and isn't the media and the public being there essentially your job as a representative to inform them? So do you feel like you're diminishing your relationship with the public by doing so?
No, not at all. I would say it actually strengthens it, I would say, because we're being more knowledgeable when we get to the point where the resolution itself, we had an open session last night where any student can come and comment on the resolution before the committee. No one chose to do that, but we gave them the chance. And then there will be a full open debate about the issue at this upcoming Wednesday's meeting. But that was an educational opportunity. Nothing was voted on. No motions were made. It was just an educational format, and I've used the quote a couple times now, but that was I didn't want to have to drag everybody else to another location and ruin everybody. I mean, it's so hard to get 38 people in the same room at the same time. So I could have invited everybody buddy to my apartment over a few beers and done that for those who are 21. But I chose that wasn't the easiest way to do it. So I figured that this was the proper way. All governments or boards have some form of going into an executive session type format. Ours was a closed committee of the whole, which we followed our bylaws to the T.
Right,
So.
and in addition, we did release the minutes to the meeting afterwards after they were voted upon by the committee.
Okay, thank you. I think that's actually it for time, but thank you both so much for joining us. We'll be right back with this week's weather forecast after the break.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's
Wow.
right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Good evening, Penn State. This is student meteorologist Faith Eretz here with your campus weather service forecast for October 6th. After this past weekend's chill and today's warm temperatures, you might feel like we are skipping right around between summer and winter here, but this coming forecast does suggest that autumn is here to stay. Although tomorrow's temperatures will be around the same as today in the mid-60s, we will have some clouds and showers in the area, helping temperatures to feel a bit cooler, so it will feel a bit more like autumn tomorrow. The clouds will help tomorrow night's temperatures stay up around 50 degrees, but that trend will not stick around. Once those clouds clear out on Wednesday, we will see those nighttime temperatures dropping well into the 40s some nights this week. So make sure if you are outside anytime after sunset, you do pack warm, because those could be some pretty surprising temperatures to get caught in. Besides the nighttime temperatures though, this week looks pretty nice. We will have some sunny skies for most of the week except for Friday, when a few clouds and showers will move through. But especially this weekend, it looks to be very nice with temperatures around the 60-degree mark every day, making for a very nice sunny weekend. Saturday night, you do not have to worry about those cold temperatures though, since the Nittany Lions will be heading out for their night game against Michigan. So luckily in Happy Valley here, we can watch these games from the comfort of our couch and not out in that chilly Beaver Stadium. For the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Faith Eretz. Have a great night.
All right, you ready for some baseball trivia?
Let's do it.
What year produced the most no-hit games in the big leagues?
7 no-hitters in 1990.
Wow, that's right. Now a question that's not trivial. How many children will witness bullying this year?
Huh.
The answer? 3 out of 4.
75%?
That's
Wow.
right. How many of them will say something?
Kids want to help, but don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning. Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me? You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Sports wrap-up. The Penn State men's soccer team remained undefeated in the Big Ten with a 1-0 win against Rutgers on Saturday. The only goal of the game came in the 79th minute from Big Ten leading scorer Connor Maloney. This was Maloney's 8th goal of the year and 5th game-winning tally of the season. Goalkeeper Andrew Wolverton earned his 8th shutout of the year with 2 saves in the second half. With the victory, the Nittany Lions improved to 11 straight wins, the best start in school history. The Nittany Lions will travel to College Park, Maryland next Sunday to take on the Terps. Despite double-digit kill performances from freshman Allie Franti and junior Megan Courtney, the number 3 Penn State women's volleyball team fell 3-1 to number 8 ranked Nebraska. The Nittany Lions started off strong, clinching the first set 25-12 against the Huskers, but lost the next 3 by no more than 5 points each. Penn State concluded a 4-match Big Ten road swing with a straight-set victory at Iowa the next day. The weekend's win and loss bring the Nittany Lions to 3-1 in the Big Ten. The team will play Northwestern at home on Wednesday. The Penn State field hockey team posted 2 shutouts on the road this weekend, defeating Drexel 5-0 and Temple 2-0. Taylor Herold had 2 goals for the Nittany Lions, alongside Laura Gebhardt, Natalie Budinger, and Amanda D'Annunzio, who all had 1. Senior goalkeeper Kylie Licata recorded her 3rd shutout of the season. Number 9 Penn State improved to 10-2 after the win against number 14 Temple. Penn State will play Maryland away this Friday. The Penn State women's ice hockey team fell to number 1 ranked Minnesota 8-0 this past Friday and came back to defeat St. Cloud State 3-2 on Sunday. With quality passing, puck control, and a power play 70 seconds into the game, the Nittany Lions were able to keep the Gophers without a shot through the first 6.5 minutes. However, Minnesota led in every offensive category, outshooting Penn State 40-15 while going 4 for 6 on power plays. On Sunday, Penn State junior Shannon Joheimer had her 4th career 2-goal game. Sophomore Amy Peterson posted the first goal of the season 16 minutes into the match. Freshman goalkeeper Hannah Erezman made 29 saves in her first collegiate appearance. The Nittany Lions will play Quinnipiac Saturday and Sunday this weekend. And that's all for this week's sports. PSN News will be right back after this.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Two Penn State students paid a high price for some cold ones this weekend. 2 students were reportedly caught on camera breaking into the Kappa Delta row house Friday night. The pair apparently entered the house and took 3 cans of natural light before leaving the site. The students caused $370 worth of damage and are awaiting charges. And I'm sure they're happy that they weren't caught in the act, 'cause I'm sure their night could have been a lot worse than that. But
I'm sure. And that does it for us here at PSN News tonight for October 6th, 2014. Thanks for joining us, and make sure to check us out on Twitter at PSN News.
And make sure to watch us every Monday night live at 7 p.m. Have a good night, and thanks for watching.